Hello, everyone. Hopefully you are tuning in and listening to Larry's keynote this morning. It was awesome. We have a couple of minutes, so just wanted to jump on. If you want to type in the chat, let me know where you are, where in the world you are. I like that engagement. So if you want to type in on the chat, you let me know, and we'll get started in a couple of minutes, all right? Wow, we have so many people here. This is awesome. People from all over the world and all over the country. I'm so excited. Hello, everyone. Good morning from Long Island, New York. I'm pretty sure it's a hot one today. I'm so glad that you chose to spend your morning with me. I'm really excited. This is my third year doing the VirtuEL conference. It's one of my favorites. I do really enjoy listening to everybody and all the feedback. And I'm just super, super excited to hear from everybody. So if you look on the screen, you will see that there's a link here. It's called bit.ly /inclusive tech 20. That's the access to the PowerPoint. Feel free to check it out. And I will be putting links there for some of the tools that I use and things that you can take with you to try. So I really hope that'll be good for you. So I'm looking here. I have two monitors. So I'm checking out where everybody's from. I'm glad you chose. Feel free if you want to pop on, pop off. That's the great part here about this conference is you can come back and check it out later. So no worries. All right, so I'm going to get started. Hi. Oh, we have another New Yorker. Oh my God, I have people from all over the world. This is so cool. So if you hear a baby in the background, it's my son. He was born 12 weeks ago. So this is like my first adult time that I've had. So I'm a little excited to have a little adult time. But just a little bit about me. I'm an ELL teacher here on Long Island, New York. I teach mostly ELL students in grades 9 through 12, and I usually work in the 11th grade cohort, so I mostly work with students in the 11th grade. I have my dissertation. I have my doctorate in education from St. John's University, and I am looking forward to sharing some of the tools that I've used in the classroom and virtually this year during this whole process, this whole pandemic and the digital learning. So feel free, excuse me, feel free to type in a question in the chat, and there's a little bit of a delay, so if I don't get to it right away, I'll check it. So the title of my presentation today is Fostering an Inclusive Classroom for ELLs with Instructional Technology. And thanks. Yes, his name is Emmett James. I see people congratulating my son. His name is Emmett James. He's named after Doc Brown from Back to the Future. My husband and I are kind of nerdy. So what fostering an inclusive technology, when we talk about the classroom and we want to foster an inclusivity for our ELLs in our classroom, instructional technology tends to be the equalizer for our students because they can use all the different tools that's out there for them. That's a resource, and then they can use at their own pace and space, right? So a lot of the things that I'm going to show you today, I'm going to show you 3 major things that I've used, that I've tried, that are true, that work. And I know that there's a level of some of you who may have high tech, low tech, right? So what's great about these tools is no matter what your level of technology is, you can do this. I promise you. Okay, I've worked with a ton of teachers. I worked with so many of all different levels, and you can do this. So I'm going to share with you, and let's get started. So if you have any questions, just type them in the chat, and I keep popping back and forth, and we'll get started. 200 people. Oh my God, that's so many people. All right. So really quick here, I just want to talk about when you are planning a lesson for instructional technology, whether you are in the classroom or you are not, you want to have a clear plan. What is the plan? What are you going to use it for? Are you going to use it for a introduction? Are you going to use it for an assessment? Are you going to use it for a an apply, right? So what's the purpose? And I think that that's really important because a lot of the times we plan for technology, but we plan to use it, but we don't know how to purposefully use it, right? So what's the objective? We put our content and our language objectives up there. You should also put up your technology objectives. What are we going to use this tool for today? My second one is how to differentiate and meet the needs of all learners in the classroom, right? So we want to learn how we have a student who might be at the beginning level of technology, and not the beginning level of technology, the beginning level of language, to a kid who might be at the higher level. How can we use that technology at the same time to meet those kids at different levels? And then the last one is, in what ways can students participate in the lesson that meet their needs, right? So for example, you know, if you have a newcomer, maybe you put in a scaffold in place for them, allow them to answer in their native language compared to an advanced student where you give them a stronger maybe sentence stem, right? So what I really want for you to do is I want us to go from being the crazy cat person being like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing, to Rachel and Phoebe, we're like, yes, I got this, right? That's really kind of what I want us to do. So if you have a question, again, just pop it in, make sure you type it in there and I will make sure I see it. So now that we have an idea of what we want to do and how we want to do it, right? We want to go through and look at some of the tools. So the first tool I would like to show you is, oh, before we go over that, is all the tools I want to make sure that we know this, it's lowering the effective filter. And I'm going to give a shout out here to Michelle Izquierdo. I met Michelle a couple years ago when I went to the Text TESOL conference, and she wrote this book called Pathways to Greatness. And she puts a lot of great information in there. So a lot of the tech tools that I'm showing you today lower the effective filter of our students. We want to give them the opportunity to participate, right? So just think about what are some of the strategies that you use in your classroom that already lower the effective filter of our students, right? So is there something that you do already that maybe you can jazz up, maybe you can add, right? So just I want you to think about that as I go through some of these tools. And I only broke it down to 3 because usually I have like 5 or 6, but we run out of time usually. Hello, everyone. I'm just checking in. Wow, 300 people are watching this. Oh my Lord. Okay. Okay, so the first tool I want to talk about is Pear Deck. Has anybody ever used the tool Pear Deck before? I'm going to pause just because I think there's a delay. But Pear Deck is great. I use Pear Deck in the classroom. I used it outside the classroom this year for remote learning. And I also like it because it gives kids that little bit of anonymity sometimes. And it allows them to participate at a different level. So just let me know if any of you have ever used Pear Deck before. Yes, a lot of people are loving Pear Deck. Awesome. Okay, so what I love about Pear Deck is that I'm just looking at the questions here. Okay, so we kind of have like a little bit of overview here. So what Pear Deck is Pear Deck is great because it builds right into your Google Slides. And I know some people have used, how do you guard your computer against privacy? Well, we have at Smithtown, they had to sign our New York State Ed 2D law. So in New York, they had to sign our privacy policy. So I know that that's how, you know, they have to abide by that rule. Pear Deck it's not a free resource, but there are a lot of good, you can get a lot of 3-month subscriptions for it. If you message them and you tell them that you're really interested, they'll give you a 3-month subscription for free. So what I like about Pear Deck is that kids can work at things in their own space, right? So for example, Pear Deck allows you to be the teacher to lead your instruction, right? Pear Deck is used again with Google Slides. So what I am going to show you, I'm just going to drag my screen over here. I think I have it. A lot of people are asking how it's different. Pear Deck and Nearpod they do the same things, but what I like about Pear Deck is mostly my stuff now is in Google Slides. When Nearpod first came out, Nearpod was so clunky because you'd have to go out, you'd have to download, you'd have to do this. It was kind of tough to navigate. Now it has a mesh with Google Slides. There's pros and cons of both. It's totally a preference. But what I like about Pear Deck is, I'm just going to drag my screen over here. I don't know if you should be able to see this. Pear Deck is used with your Google Slides. So all you do is you build your slides as if you are putting up a PowerPoint on the classroom, right? And then what you do is you embed inside the slide deck, you embed different types of questions, different types of tools and templates and all these fun things that you can do, right? So one of my favorite things, which is really cool now, is they have an add audio to slide, which is really great because now you can embed your voice in. You used to have to go out, go in, go out, go in to put slides. Now you can use Pear Deck to post audio, which I think is super great. I love that. The other thing is you can embed a question, any types of choice questions, drawing questions. This year during remote and digital learning, I did this as a self-paced. So students were being able, yes, it does make it an interactive slideshow. Yes, Nick. What I like about it is that the kids, if you do it self-paced, the kids can work on it at their own space, right? Now, let's say you're doing a digital lesson, a remote lesson. You could be synchronous, where you're teaching and you're using Pear Deck. Then you could turn it on to student paced and the kids can finish, and then you can finish your lesson. So I really like that feature. You can add all these different templates, beginning of the lesson, and the kids just type and draw and write on it. And all you do is, it's very self-explanatory. And I do have a how-to guide that I'll share with you. I'll post it in this slide deck. Nick asked, is it better for live sessions or asynchronous work? It depends. Pear Deck is getting better, especially now since they added the teacher feedback tool. They didn't have the teacher feedback tool. Originally, what would happen is if a kid did something, you'd have to give the feedback in real time. But now is that since we've done a lot of remote and digital learning, they added the teacher feedback tool in there. So if you're doing it student paced now, you can go in and type with the kids, right? And you can give them feedback. Like I said, I know a lot of you are asking if is it free, is it not free? You could ask and see if your school will get a subscription. We just got ours finally, and so many teachers used it. But I do know that, like, if you ask, you can get a 3-month premium, and then you can keep upping it. That's what I did for a long, long time. So if you look here, Pear Deck has a ton of templates, and somebody asked about the SEL slides. They have templates that you can embed that focus on social emotional learning, right? So what you would do is you would click this, and I'm going to try it and see if it might mess up the PowerPoint, but that's okay. So, like, let's say you really want the kids to do something on this. Say you like this active listening slide. Yes, there are video tutorials, Lisa, and I have a bunch myself. So I will post those, and I do have a resource folder that I will post, and then I'll have Carol post it on the folder. So if I click active listening, what it's going to do is it's going to go, it's going to make its magic. And what it's going to do is it's actually just going to take that template and put it in my slide. And now this is completely 100% editable. So you can change it, you can move it, you can write whatever you want on there for your kids. And there are, it's manipulative. So the template is there to give you the idea, but what you put on the template is totally yours. So if you look here on my presentation, this is just a few examples of my Pear Decks in action. So this was something that I was doing when I was teaching in class. We had one on the smart board, and then we had the students working on it. So you can see, you know, the kids have the activities, but they're also doing note-taking stuff, right? So I don't use this as a sole tech tool. I use it as a blended tool. They have some tech, and then they have some paper, because again, some kids were asking. I don't know if it's compatible with PowerPoint or 365. I'm not 100% sure. If somebody can answer this, it's great for elementary school. This is great for any level. The kids, if you have ELL, if you have students who don't have Google accounts, you can just share this tool out in whatever tool you use in elementary school, whether it's Bunsy, it's a portfolio, it's whatever, and they don't have to log in with a school email account. So that's really, really great. I think kindergarten would be able to handle this. The only reason why I would say start small with kindergarten is I would do like stuff where they have to drag, or do stuff where they have to trace, and keep it short and sweet. Jennifer, yes, the slides. The slide link is this. I'm going to share it again. That's the link to the slideshow. Again, Pear Deck is just a starter. You can manipulate it to be whatever, ever you want. Oh, there is that's right, Michelle, there is. They did just add it for PowerPoint, so you can use it. That is new. Thank you, Michelle Parmari. Yes, no logins is key. So you can choose that feature. But again, I will share out a folder later today that has a bunch of my how-to guides and resources. Okay, so I'm just going to show you here. So major takeaway, it can be all blended. It doesn't have to be all yes, there are templates in Spanish, and you can manipulate the template to be whatever language you have. So if you have a student who speaks Chinese, you can write in Chinese on the slide. You're just changing your PowerPoint, your Google slide deck, which is my favorite part of it. Okay, so in this slideshow, I walk you through that. You can go through. So for example, I'm just going to move my face out of the way here. This is what I would see as the teacher. So for example, if a student was answering, I would be able to see all of their answers, which is great because I can see it all at one time, right? Over here, so if I was launching it in class, right? If I was launching it in class, all of the students' responses would come up here, which is super awesome, right? So you would see, it would say like, you know, Katie D, and then it would show my response, right? And then you can click on that response. Okay, and you can give teacher feedback that way. If you were live in a classroom, Nick Powers asked, can students go through the slideshow on their own without the teacher present? Yes, you would just have to turn on student paced when you launched it. When you do it student paced, they can do it themselves. If you want to do it teacher paced, they cannot move. Great question, Nick. Okay. So again, if I was to do it here, this is where all the student responses would show up. Obviously, it's waiting for responses because this is a screenshot. But anything that you were doing where you wanted a student response, it would be there. Okay. So again, this is how to put this together. You have my email. You have my Twitter feed. You can message me and I can walk you through this. This is super easy. I really, really love this tool a lot. Again, this is a great template. I use this one here. This one was where I set up a dragging the icons, and the kids would look in their packet, and it was a matching activity, and they just have to drag with their finger, and then they would just put the dots where they're supposed to, right? So this is another template, but again, I manipulated it to be for me. This is great for any level. The only thing that I would say is you have to design your slide deck to meet your kids, right? So if you know that you have like a kindergarten group, or let's say a 7th grade group, you want your slides to meet what your kids need, right? So again, it's one of those things. Can you show the student responses to the whole class in the event that you wanted to? Yes, you can. And what's great, Stephanie Chu asked, can you share the responses to the class? Yes, you can. And what's really great is it lowers the effective filter for our ELLs because it doesn't put their name up on the screen. So if your ELL does a great job and you want to share it and they're a little nervous about raising their hand, they can actually just put it, you can share it out and say, look at this great answer. And the ELLs will know it's theirs, but their name is not attached to it. It can be used on any device, an iPhone, an Android phone. It can be used on a Chromebook. It can be used on an iPad. It can be used on anything because it's web-based. So anything that the kids can type in the address, they're good to go. Okay. So that is Pear Deck, I believe. Again, I'm just going to show you a few more examples. It's again, everything's been really clunky. That's somebody asked, you know, has student stuff saved? And I will say definitely some of the times the student stuff gets lost, but I think because everything was so overwhelmed for so long, this last like 6 months, I think the infrastructure now is going to be better going on in September. I know Edpuzzle had problems. I know Kami had problems. All these big, even Google Meet had problems. So I think that they're getting prepared for what's going to happen in the fall. I think if schools do go remote most or half and half, they're going to be more prepared for the fall. Okay, this is another one. This is one where the kids can draw. This is where I posted a thing. They can type an answer. Okay, so that's Pear Deck. And I really want to get to this one because this one is so much fun. I've done these a ton this year. Basically created a digital escape room. So kids love this idea of finding clues, right? So a digital escape room is exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like one of those box ones, but now everything is in one spot. It's completely digital. I've done this in the classroom and I've done this remotely, and the kids really, really liked it. Really, really, really liked it. So what a digital escape room is it's great because the way I've used it, it's only using 2 tech tools and then the rest of it is content. Okay, so I developed this template as kind of like a sketch sheet for you to use when you are building it for yourself, which makes life so much easier because I'm all about organization. Okay, so what is a digital escape room? And this was like a little, I put this GIF in here. This is a little homage to my childhood because I used to love Inspector Gadget. But students are completing content area tasks with minimal technology to complete the task. So for example, if you want them to look at something that they might have at home, they're going to read their own book. You want to just put up on the screen a PDF of a reading, right? That's not really technology related. It's on technology, but there's no skill to it, right? The answers to the content area question or clue is where you get the technology. And any tech that is used is low tech. So we're going to use Google Forms, and we're going to use one of my new favorite, well, it's not a new favorite for me. I've been using it for a few years, but they have so much cool new stuff, is flippity.net. Flippity is amazing. Okay. It is all about using Google Sheets. It has the best directions, so you can't mess it up, and it is so user friendly. So what you would do is if you click here on my screen, it'll say I need some water. I'm talking fast. This will bring you to a copy of my template. And let me just show you a finalized one. Hope I'm trying to answer all of your questions at the same time. Okay. So here is an example of my digital escape room. So this is what I did is I typed in Yeah, Flippity has been 100% glitchy. They try to work really hard to get it better, but there are sometimes some problems with it, right? So this is what my my escape room like document looks like when I prepare it for the kids. So I write what they're going to do, how they're going to obtain the clue, and then I also write where they're going to get the clue from. Oh, let me change that. Oops. It's because you guys don't work where I work. That's the problem. It's always a little funny. Let me just change the share settings. See, this is what happens. Anyone with the link? Done. Okay, so it should be updated now. So if you look here on my example, I put on the left in the task what they're going to do. In the middle, I put how they're going to do it or what the task is going to do. And then the third is the actual clues, right? So yes, Flippity will work. Flippity is a separate website. So I will show you Flippity right now, actually. So this is flippity.net. And these are all of the things you can use with Flippity. It is a scavenger hunt. It's the same thing, except it's all digital. So these are some of the really cool tools that Flippity has. So for what we're doing with the digital scavenger hunt is we're going to use the locks, and the kids have to type it in exactly how you want it. And that's how it'll show up. And it's a lot of fun, actually. The kids really like it. So once you build it, we want to use, ooh, I don't know what just happened to my Google Slides. I have so many people accessing my slideshow. So the slide link for my slides is bit.ly/inclusivetech20. I did, it's Inclusive Tech 20. It's actually, I'm just going to publish this to the web. That's weird because I did post it. Again, here's the link for the slideshow. Inclusive Tech 20. That is the link to the slideshow. So I'll just wait. I was going to publish it, but it's okay. Yes, Flippity is free. So the only reason I'm pausing is because I want to make sure people can see this here. I'm waiting for the screen. What I see and what you see. There's the link right here up on the top. That's the link to the slides. Okay, so there it is. The template's there and I updated it. So for example, one of the tech tools how it worked. Yes, I will totally share a completed one. So this is a completed one that I used. This is my completed one. So then this is what the kids were going to do, how they were going to do it, and then this is the way that they were going to answer it. So for example, for this first one, kids would have to, now again, we're not in the classroom, so you might have to modify it a little bit. If you click this, it brings you to the Google form that the kids are going to answer. Okay, and now this is how the kids are going to answer. And what I love about this is with Google Forms, I demand mastery from the kids because I have what it's called data validated. So that means it has to be the exact answer for them to go on. That means spelling, punctuation, everything. I know, whoa, that was the fastest half hour of my life. What I can do is I have a ton of videos on how to do data validation and all of this. But when you demand the mastery from the kids, you get, I'm telling you, I did this with my ENL Nope, Flippity is free. I did this in class and I had SIFE students, I had newcomers, I had transitioning kids, and I had commanding kids. That's what we call it, the different levels in New York. My SIFE students were killing this. They were loving it. And they were able to use their first language. They were talking, they were communicating. I get chills just talking about it. It was so awesome. I know that there's another meeting happening in a couple of minutes, but I'm telling you, the kids love the digital escape room, because if you data validate it and you make sure that the kids have to type in what the right answer is, you will get mastery. I can guarantee you. So I know we're running out of time. I had a whole nother thing to share with you, which is about HyperDocs, but you can check that out at your own leisure. Somebody asked about Microsoft Forms having it. I'm not actually sure. That's a great question. We don't use Microsoft in our school district, but that would be something I would check out. I'm going to post some stuff on the site. I can't believe I ran out of time. Here is my contact information. That's my Twitter handle. That's my email. I'm going to post, I'm going to share with everybody a little bit of a YouTube channel that has some of my stuff on it. I'm going to ask Tan and Carol to put it up on the resource page. So check back later this afternoon. Whoa, that was so fast. So there's my email. There's my Twitter handle. Please feel free to message me, DM me. Come on over to New York. Want to take care of my baby for a little bit? We can chat. It was so great. I can't believe 300 people watch this. This was awesome. If you need me, send me a Twitter message or email me. That's my school email. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I can't believe I didn't get through everything. I know I went fast, but keep being great to our ENL students. Keep being great. We are the Edu Heroes, and I am just so excited to have been here for everybody. So I look forward to talking more, and have a great rest of your day, everybody, okay? Thanks, everyone. I'm just trying to read all of this information. Yes, the video will be available later. This is recorded, so once I'm finished, you'll be good to go, everybody. Bye. Turn it off. Bye.